Hello everyone. So I'm doing this video today because I want to share more about gastroparesis and how it affects the whole body as a whole, not just the stomach. And one of the ways is our intestines. Many times with gastroparesis, a lot of us struggle with constipation, or some struggle with diarrhea, or some struggle with both. Either way, it can be a battle. Not just the stomach to be slow, but our colon can be really backed up at times too, which just puts more pressure and stress on our bodies when we're trying to get nutrition and live life, right? So one of the things that I have that's a little different is an ileostomy. I got this before I actually learned I had gastroparesis, even though many people think that I probably had gastroparesis longer than I've been diagnosed. But anyways, so I've had to learn to adapt with the gastroparesis type diagnosis with having an ileostomy. And having both can be a struggle because, especially with an ileostomy, I don't have a colon at all. I just have a small intestine. What they do is they take a part of your small intestine and bring it out just a little bit, and that is called a stoma. And with a ileostomy, you're at risk of dehydration because things are going out a lot quicker. Well, usually if your body's working a normal way with an ileostomy and no colon, things come out quicker. So with that being said, you need more fluids on top of everything else, and you need fluids more with gastroparesis too. So that's something to really be aware of, and especially with some of you might be coming down this road for an ileostomy. And there's also a colostomy, which is similar. It's just when you have part of your colon left. With ileostomy, you don't have any of your colon. So other ways that having gastroparesis and having an ileostomy or colostomy can be difficult or a struggle, bloating or pressure, that gets me a lot. And that can affect your ileostomy of how things come out. And it can just be uncomfortable and just kind of, for me, I feel like it's rocky, and you can just almost feel the hard areas and just the discomfort around your stoma. And so any kind of bloating or pressure can change the way things come out of your bag, of your ileostomy, and that can end up causing leaks from your bag or overflow all at once, which then again can cause leaks, and then that leads to skin breakdown and just discomfort. So it's something to be aware of. If things aren't moving through with your stomach, it's probably not going to move through coming out the other way either, right? So bloating, pressure, different foods you eat can affect it just either way. Lifestyle changes, and weight gain, weight loss, that affects it. I mean, I was told by just even a few pounds, especially with women, can change the size of your stoma. And anytime the size of your stoma changes, that might be a bag change, or that might mean you got to change what you wear, the type of bag. And again, that can lead to leaks and other issues if your bag isn't fitting correctly. So dehydration, bloating, pressure, different foods you eat, blockages are a possibility, I guess, leading it to different foods you eat and how things are moving out. Thick, thin output, it's something, again, you have to be aware of with your gastroparesis diet, how your diet is. If you're on TPN, if you're on tube feed, what does that look like? And it's something to monitor of how often are you usually emptying your bag. To me, everybody's going to be a little bit different. And once you get that bag like 1/3 full, I'll show you. Here's an example of what a bag looks like. And once it starts to get about 1/3 full, you want to change it. It gets uncomfortable, or you want to empty it. And it starts to weigh on you. And then you don't want to lead to pressure and pulling down and then a leak either. So those are just things that can be a battle with having gastroparesis and having an ileostomy. For me, it led to an ileostomy because chronic inertia and my pelvic floor muscles just weren't working. Just overuse of laxatives growing up, suffering from constipation issues so much. And for me, it's a lifestyle change and a huge adjustment, but I wouldn't take it back. And it leads to one thing after another. When you try so many things, this is kind of where it leads you to that resort of what comes next. So going on, I'm going to show you what a bag change looks like and cleaning the stoma around it, just to make you aware and what it looks like. And then I'll just show you what mine looks like. And it's also really important just to keep aware of what your normal output would be and what your intake is. So going on, it's good to have a towel, some garbage bag with you. I mean, usually when you're in the bathroom, but all your supplies. And another good thing, it's good to have an extra bag of supplies or pants in case there's an accident in your car, wherever you work. I would keep it in my locker. It's always good to have extras too, because what if you end up having a leak or so throughout the week? So you want to have extras of your supplies. So going on, let me see if I can get a little closer. So this is what, this is what a stoma looks like. As you can see, my skin's kind of broke down right now. I've been having a lot of pressure change and a lot of bloating, and then leads to coming out all at once, which leads to leaks. So that's what I've been struggling with, so I can show you an example. Not fun, but my skin is broken down a lot around here. And you want the color of your stoma to be like a beefy red. You don't want it to look purple or changing blue or anything like that. That's not a good sign. So you want it to look like a beefy red or a pink color. And then around it, you can use it's good to, before I say that, it's good to wash it down with just warm water. Just wash it and then make sure it's completely dry all around before using any other products or starting to place your bag. If it's not completely dry, things won't stick well, and then it will start to come off on its own, which has happened. So, let's see. Maybe you can see better that way. I'm going to use a barrier. This is a skin powder. So my ostomy nurse had told me always remember PS as in powder, then the spray. And this is just a skin protectant. As you can see, I'm putting it all around this stoma just because my skin's pretty broke down right now. And what was I gonna say? So then I'm just spraying it down, and I will sometimes my ostomy nurse has even done it more than once, just if it needs an extra barrier coat. And that's a really good skin barrier to use. It's often good not to use alcohol. That can lead to the skin to be extra dry and too dry around it. You don't want to use any kind of oily products. Won't stick as well. Typically, the bag, it can really vary on person to person and can be more than this or it could be less than this. This is just an estimate of changing the bag maybe 4 to 7 days depending on the weather. With hot weather, you're going to have a lot more sweating, and if you take baths or swimming, it's going to cause that moisture, so you're probably going to have to change it more. And then this is, again, just an estimate. Everybody's going to be different depending on your intake and your body, but it was estimated to be about 6 to 8 times where you will empty your bag. And it's just about your comfort level of what you feel like, oh, you know, I'm going to empty it now a little bit, or if you want to wait on it. Let's see. There was something else I was going to say, but I don't recall. So I'm going to go on. And it's often good, you know, for me with my skin broke down, it's good to, and sometimes people might find this gross, but it's good to even just take a bath and let that water soak and let this, you know, really get clean and get some air open to it. It's good to bathe even with it open like this before I put on anything. Everybody's different. It may not be their comfort level. What I was going to refer to is this stoma. It can come out and in. It's just peristalsis. It does not have any nerve endings, and I have no control over it at all. So it will move and come out and empty, or, you know, let stool out into the bag whenever it wants, and I have no control. So sometimes changing this bag, I could be yelling at it and having fits in the bathroom because I have no control when it comes out or when it doesn't. So that can be a little frustrating. It's often good. When I got my bag, I named it. My ileostomy, my stoma is called Leo. It's from a movie. But so I'll be in the bathroom sometimes talking to Leo, like, stop, I need to put the bag on, stop, please stop. And it can just be a little show. So first, let's see, I have my pieces of my bag with me here that I'm going to use, and there's all kinds of different types of bags out there anymore. There's one I even sleep with that's bigger, and there's one I use during the day, but there are all sorts of different bags and things to use, and this goes into so much more with having an ileostomy, with like the diet, with exercise, with just lifestyle and work. But really everybody can they can live fully with just like anybody else without an ileostomy. I can do about everything they can. It's nothing out of the ordinary. Sometimes I might have to be a little bit more careful, beware of hernias and things like that, but I can do everything. You know, I can go swimming, I can still work, well, if I was, but anyways, some people think, you know, this is going to change everything. No, you know, they have so much out there anymore. You can do anything. You can do whatever, you know, your comfort level is. And there's even celebrities out there that you would be surprised have ileostomy, colostomy bags. So I'm going to prepare. I like to get my stuff ready before I place a bag. That way, boom, 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 without it coming out on me. And I'm surprised it's being good right now. So I have my paste that I use. That goes first after I put this protective on. This is a ring that I use. And like I said, everybody uses different products. There's so much out there. This is the piece that will go on top of this, as this would have clip on to the bag. So let's get started. This is the paste that I'm going to put around the stoma, around Leo. And it often also does a really good job of protecting the skin as well. It's a good skin barrier. So I'm going to lift up, and I just place this all around Leo, just as a good skin protectant barrier. If I can get some more out of mine. And I'm going to go just like that. So as you see, I still have some powder left on me, so I'm just trying to scrape this extra off, because if I don't, the bag won't stick very well once I put that one of the layers on for the bag, and then that'll lead to it slipping and taking off. So this is one of the pieces, and usually before I would do anything, I would have this ready, and I could measure. And you can measure, I didn't show that to you, but you can measure your stoma, see if it's changing size, see what you have to do, if it is changing size. You know, various reasons. I've had to change different ways of using my bag type styles out there many, many times. So you get to know your body. And unfortunately, anytime your body changes, which happens a lot with gastroparesis, your stoma is going to change. The bag you use might have to change. These different things. And it gets to be a lot. But I feel like after a while, for me, I kind of just get used to it, and I adjust, and I just go with it, and you learn the ropes of what to do, what not to do. Yes, it can be frustrating with the leaks, especially, you know, if you wake up in the morning and you're like, boom, oh, this is not cool. This is not, you know, you have to rush to get a shower and clean up. But overall, you learn to adjust, and you know, like I said, you know your body, what is going to happen, what's not, what it can handle. So then I would put this, for me, this is what I use. I put this down first, and this kind of uses as a lift up barrier to hold in place, and that's what that paste is going to hold on well for. As you can see, you don't really see my stoma, but sometimes, like I said, the stoma will come in and out just on its own. It's all just peristalsis. It's amazing how the body works. Okay, and then I'm going to put this on, which this is where the bag would clip on. Let's see. I brought me a bag, and I'm not even using it. So I just peel this off. So remember, anytime, I'm just going to place this on like that, as you can see, to latch on. So remember, anytime your body changes, weight change, your stoma is going to change, which may mean a bag change, equipment change. anytime you take a bath, a shower, that moisture is getting on. There's things to be aware of. So there's that, and that's my, that's what it looks like so far with the bag. And this is what well, this is the one I could use during the day. This is a vent, actually, which helps with the smell. And I really don't even, there's things you can place in the bag if you want different little blocks, and sometimes people even use Tic Tacs to place in the bag if they're worried about smell. But anymore, they have so much out there, and these are vents. I don't usually smell anything unless I pop it open to let the air out. But so this is a type of bag, and I usually use one that's covered that you don't see through, that I could wear during the day. This is another different style people could use. There's all kinds out there. And this is the one that I'm going to put on that I wear at night. And as you see, it's like a big drainage bag. So it gives me a lot more leeway and a lot more room for if I have extra air or pressure, then less likely to have a leak when I use a bigger bag. So it's going to latch on just like that. And I got to make sure it all snaps around. And not to forget to close the bottom. So then if I get dressed and get ready in the morning, I would just take this bag back off, and I could place a smaller one on, more comfortable for the day. So I guess just other things just to be aware of is just mostly diet change. Your physical activity can change with having a bag on. Different pressure changes, as I said. Let's see if I'm missing anything. Make sure you got the right size, the right bag, everything's fitting right around the stoma, because if it's not, it will lead to tear away on the bag and leaks and skin breakdown if any stool around the area is getting on the skin. And you can start to feel that too. Sometimes my skin might burn and I can feel it through. So it's good to be on top of that and use whatever you can for skin protectant. And you don't really need to use much fancy stuff out there. You don't want to use much scented anything. Just keep it simple with hot soap, or not hot soap, warm water, and rinse it and make sure it's real dry. Yeah, that's basically all about that. This is what, like I said, it looks like having an ileostomy and going through it with gastroparesis. And for me, I really wouldn't change anything. It's a struggle sometimes, but I'm just thankful that I'm getting stuff out when I do, because for me, I suffered so long with constipation and living off laxatives and enemas, and I don't regret it. It is just one thing that led to another, and so this is where I'm at now, and I know for me it's permanent, and I'm okay with that. But some people can get it reversed, depending on your body, depending on why you got it. They can get this taped down and reversed and start to go as a normal person would. So that is possible. You got to kind of weigh out your outcomes and look to see, how is it going to affect me if I do get a reversal? Is it everything going to work the right way, the way it should? It's a big surgery to go through either way. And so is this. I mean, I don't have a colon at all, so it does. And the big thing that I can't stress enough, really, 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 is to drink lots and lots and lots of fluids. You've got to be able to keep hydrating, because when not having that colon is, you don't have that to absorb. And so your body needs those extra fluids, especially with gastroparesis. You get that higher risk of dehydration, things coming out like it does. At night, I use like a chuck pad, just kind of a protection, just in case of any leaks, things that would happen. It saves you from a bed change. And those are just extra things, not everybody has to worry about that stuff. For me lately, I'm just going through a lot of bloating and pressure, so it's just kind of an extra protection. So I'm about to get me something to drink right now. I'm pretty dry, so I can tell I need something. I can't think of anything else at the moment. I'm sure there's a lot more, so feel free to ask what it's like, any questions at all. For me, like I said, my pelvic floor muscles don't really work anymore that well, and I wouldn't get it reversed. And I've just gone through the whole constipation scale that now I'm on this route. So feel free to ask me any questions, and I hope this was helpful, or at least some insight on what this is like and what it is. Maybe y'all didn't even know what an ileostomy, colostomy is. So feel free to ask questions, and I hope this is helpful for you all.